Simultaneous? What do you mean? Spontaneous? Am I live? Oh my god, slay. Okay, how do I, maybe I put this here. And then I'm looking at both screens at the same time. Wow, we did it, guys. Live on YouTube and on TikTok at the same time. This, I hate this wardrobe. It's so ugly. I can't get it out of the frame. Okay. Join me on YouTube also, please, instead of TikTok. But my face is flipped on YouTube. It's like so trippy. Okay. I'm going to order breakfast and also groceries. I'm going to Tokyo tomorrow, so I don't want to like buy too much food if it's not going to keep. What should I get? Chocolate chip cookie. Fennel sausage bagel. So good. What airline are you gracing tomorrow? I think China Eastern, maybe, to Tokyo. Do you think wealth is a prerequisite to living a beautiful lifestyle? Where you got at this stage of life? I think wealth is defined differently from person to person. And I think that as I get older and I've worked like adjacent to luxury fashion, I think there are a lot of ways that you can incorporate like daily luxury into your life that's not about material things. Like for me, luxury is like, you know, going to a restaurant and knowing the owner and them giving you special treatment, on knowing like the best bar in the city that you live, or being able to have like flexibility with your schedule. That's like a luxury. And I think being well educated or well read, that's also a luxury. And these are all things that you can work on at any stage in your life. So yeah, love you too. But obviously it's better, or it's nice to have more money than not. You haven't booked yet. I have booked. I just can't remember which airline I'm flying. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's China Eastern. I usually book that airline because I want points. Yeah, China Eastern. Thoughts on Chengdu? I love Chengdu. It's so fun. Very chill in comparison to Shanghai, which we love. Great food, cute pandas. There's really interesting museum close to Chengdu. You have to take a train there, but it has all these like artifacts that have been dug up in central China from like, I want to say thousands of years ago. And it has like very Mayan influence in terms of like the aesthetic of the artifacts. Trip planning is always so stressful. Yes. Hola to Ed Sheeran on the floor. He is here. Okay. What cookie should I get? Should I get chocolate chip? I think I want to get the s'more cookie that they have here. It's really good. Oh, potato chips. Should I get potato chips? They have cinnamon scroll too. Oh my god. Slippery slope. Okay, I'm gonna get the s'mores cookie instead of the chocolate chip cookie. Bagel. Okay, I think that's good. Wow, 19 RMB off. That's crazy. 62. That's like less than $10. It'll arrive at 11:11. Small all the way, yes. How's everyone been? What's the vibe? Okay. I should. Do I have my mirror? Vibe is summer classes low-key crashing out over a possible impending breakup. Oh no. Summer classes? Damn, girl. You are working hard. I guess like the June, July period is like winter holidays in Australia, and I would do law units during the winter holidays. Bro, that shit was so depressing. I remember once I tried to do 2 units in one holiday period, and I had to pull out of one of them because it was so boring. I was like, I'm sorry. Being a university professor must be crazy. Also, I saw people talking on Twitter about everyone using AI to write their essays now in the US. I don't know. I'm sure they're doing it in Australia as well. I know my younger friends in Australia love a bit of ChatGPT. Good luck for the impending potential breakup also. Better is on the way for you. Summer class is annoying. I gotta swing up my GPA to get into a co-op. Okay. Slay. Keep at it, queen. You know, when I was younger, I used to think like, why would anyone want to continue studying after they've graduated? And now that I'm working, I'm like, you know what? University doesn't sound so bad. I bought this compact without trying it, and I don't know if the color even matches my skin properly. But let's try. Podcast is top tier. Thank you for tuning in. I'm thinking of producing another season for it. I've kind of been focusing on YouTube, but I do enjoy just the audio. I did a guest episode for FDS, Female Dating Strategy. Everybody tune in if you haven't already. I talk about my decentering men law. It's not really that dating focused, but it was really fun recording that episode. Actively living in a war zone right now in India and Pakistan tensions. My sleep is getting wrecked because of this. Do I stay optimistic when my reality/world around me is collapsing? Love you, by the way. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you have to deal with that. I think obviously staying optimistic in spite of terrible conditions is important, but it's okay to also be like, I hate this every now and then, you know. Balance your reaction, balance your emotional processing, and look for community and support around you. I think that's important too. Don't feel like it has to be something you go through alone either, you know, because there's lots of other people dealing with the same thing as you, I imagine. So when you can connect with other people about how you feel and support each other, I think that's really important in times like that. Journaling, meditation, sometimes reading like books about other people that have dealt with similar or worse situations can help you to put things in perspective. Like I read the introduction of the I Ching, and that literally changed my brain chemistry because it was translated by a guy who was put in a labor camp for like 9 years. And he talks about how every day he would follow the news and things would get worse, but that would also give him hope for as an indicator that it was going to get better. You know, everything gets worse before it gets better. So as the political situation deteriorated for him, he was like, that means we're closer to a turning point. And that's how he maintained hope throughout 9 years of being in a labor camp. So I feel like reading things like that can give you perspective as well. Hello. You got your semesters planned out and you have a visible goal, careers are more volatile. Right. Is that the Viral Korean Foundation? Yes, tier. I don't know, it's not bad. I think it oxidizes a lot as well once you put it on your skin. It's quite easy to use also. Need to catch up on your podcast. It's been a while. Yay! Which episode are you up to? John will pop up. Who is that? Yeah, the coverage is good. Which, I think the light is better on this side, right? I'm looking a bit yellow though, I'm not gonna lie. I need to watch the Killing the Lover Girl episode. Right. You don't need to kill the lover girl, you just need to give her a new outlet, you know? Why do you need it though? What is this? I feel like I should take this to Tokyo and not my BB cream. Let's see. I'm going to test this coverage today. Doing my makeup now. I'm probably going to be out until late. Or I have pole dance. And then I am going to go to a drink with a friend that I haven't seen since before the pandemic. Crazy. But I'll probably have a shower before I go out. So this has to last me until at least 9 p.m. A man ill is stressing me out. Girl! Manifest. Rebuke. Men should be stressed, okay? Not women. It's bad for your health. Give him a reason to be stressed out. Do you get by with English in Tokyo or do you use basic Japanese? I mostly use English and arigatou gozaimasu, sumimasen. I feel like a lot of staff speak English now, at least basic English. I did learn Japanese when I was in high school and I was actually like good at it. And I didn't even know Chinese, but I've forgotten everything. So fuck my life. My dream is to be able to speak Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. I don't know how I'm going to achieve that because I'm not good at studying languages, but yeah. Wish me luck, guys. Hi, Ellie. I'm hungover today. But I'm going to organize music. I'm going to go to a pole dance class. I'm going to meet up with my friend. I'm excited. Mind you, I've been in my baddie mindset since December. Before I met this man, I was stressing him and everything, but now he's gone and did a whole 180. Off topic, the headband. I'm obsessed. Yeah. Get into comprehensible input for learning languages for sure. What does that mean? Like watching TV? Okay. If a man is stressing you out, you need to go focus on something else instead of him. You know, that's an indicator that you've centered a man over centering yourself. Not good. And like once you decenter him, he'll start centering you, and then you can decide if you want to continue or not. What's worse, being hungover from alcohol or sleep deprivation? Being hungover, for sure. Being hungover with sleep deprivation, double homicide, aka me right now. Listening to you while I write an international relations briefer because I find your content inspiring. Thank you. Good luck. International relations paper. Oh my God. Sleep deprivation, it burns the brain. Yeah. My goal is to focus on sleep this year because I think the DJ lifestyle starting to take its toll, and I don't even drink, I don't even drink, and I'm like, I need to chill. So far, it's not working. But I did make a lot of adjustments to my diet over the last few weeks, which has been good. But I'm not following that today because I just ordered a bagel and a s'mores cookie. But it's okay. Balance is the key. I know I need to go back to my hobbies and start getting busy. It's just the late nights when things are hitting me, Yes, more sleep this year. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't let a man stress me out for more than a day in a long time, so. Loud here. I should decenter my boyfriend, lol. We've only been dating for 8 months. Just enjoy men while they're on their best behavior. Just wondering, how old are you? How old am I? I'm 31. Living like a 25-year-old, but with money. Oh my God, same. Slay! Twin. BS, no way, you're 31. Yeah. What's your most devious down bad meal of the day? Well, today I'm having like a fennel sausage parmesan bagel. That's my down bad meal today. Get your bag, sis. I feel like I took the relationship more seriously than he did, which is a red flag, especially in uni. Oh my God, yeah. Focus on your study, queen. Don't let a man get in the way of that. I used to do that when I was in my 20s because I hated my degree. In the end, it all worked out, but yeah. But also, I feel like when you're young, especially in your 20s, it's a good time to fuck around and find out in dating so that you can lock in when you're in your 30s. Like, I have no curiosity towards casual dating or hookup culture. But I have some friends who are like a little bit younger than me, not yet 30 or just about 30. And I don't know, I think they feel like they missed out on something because they didn't date that much in their 20s or in the last few years. Cannot date at all. Like, literally the last thing I want to think about. The only reason you're together in uni is the struggle, rather after it's free for all in the job market, right? So you're saying my tolerance should be higher in my 20s than later on. Yeah. I feel like when you're in your 20s, your chaos tolerance is higher because the stakes are lower, you know? You don't have as much responsibility in your 20s, but in your 30s, that's when shit starts to get real, you know? If you're taking your career seriously or just like your happiness in general seriously and your mental health, you know, you can get away with so much more in your 20s. And I think it's good to embrace that and experiment, figure out what your like your boundary is before you hit burnout. I think your 20s is a good time to explore that. You start closing that circle, girly. I just turned 30, 31 this June. I find myself tolerating less and less BS. Exactly. Good morning, Alice. Hope you're well too. You're the reason I'm less nervous about stepping into my 30s. I'm 24, by the way. Guys, being 30 is fucking iconic, okay? I would never go back to being in my 20s. Don't ever let anyone make you think that turning 30 is like a death sentence. I'm like excited to be old. The like uncles and aunties in Shanghai and in China in general are like literally living their best life. They do Tai Chi in the park, Tai Chi in the square of the apartment block. Yesterday, they started with Tai Chi, then they whipped out swords and were doing wushu. I was like, bro, I have to go to yoga, but like next time I see them, I'm going to go down and be like, can I join you? They're at the park singing in choirs, playing instruments. It's so slay. I can't wait until I'm 30. Turn 28, I'm like, oh, I want to be 30s, right? Just enjoy while you're there. Made a promise to myself that my 30s are going to be wonderful and happy. Won't let dusty men ruin that. Thank God, Alice. I'm happy for you. Is Shanghainese spoken very often anymore? Yeah, there's definitely people in Shanghai that still speak Shanghainese, but Mandarin is the working language for sure. I feel like I just had the worst, and because of that, last casual experience in my 20s. Right. You're not done till you're done, you know? So it's good to just see and know for sure instead of wondering if you should have entertained something that you ultimately shouldn't have, but like, whatever. Live, laugh, love, guys. Do you have a boyfriend? No. Should I try to keep the relationship going or just let it burn or give him space or dump him first? He's a nice guy, very respectful, but some of our ideals are at odds. He's hilarious. Well, I don't know. I think what everyone wants a relationship for is different. So if he's adding more value than stress, sure. But if he's adding more stress than value, maybe you can rethink. But like what you value is different person to person, you know. Wait, but then why do men in their 30s act like that? Man. I don't know about men. I don't want to speak on a man's behalf. There is no age at which anyone is guaranteed maturity. You know, that's also something you realize as you get older. Just because you guys are the same age doesn't mean that your worldview or your understanding of yourself and how you want to connect with people is going to be the same either. And I think that's also something that became really clear in my 30s or in the last few years. I mean, I think already before I turned 30, I was reconciling a lot with like the quarter life crisis, pre 30 crisis, because I was already making content then. And I've always known people that are older than me that I respect and admire. And like their point of view is more valuable to me than like people my own age, you know? And yeah, like I spoke about this in a podcast episode, I think, the Subscribe podcast episode, but I had a friend who, same age as me, we went to the same school, basically grew up together. And we're the same age, but we're in totally different stages of life, you know? And there is this assumption when you're younger that everyone is going to has to be in the same place or something at the same age, because I guess before you're 30, you know, it seems like everyone your age is at uni or at school or whatever, but people's priorities start to diverge after, I would say, like your mid 20s for sure. And yeah, there's no like right or wrong way to live, in my opinion. It's just about learning, growing, connecting, experiencing things, realizing things, being hot and having fun. I understand Mandarin and can speak it because my mom's Chinese, but I understand a little Cantonese too. I miss Shanghai. I visited during the summer holiday. Slay. Age doesn't equal wisdom. I know someone in their 50s still very repressed and wounded, very emotionally rigid and unavailable. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely no guarantees. If you're ever dealing with someone that's older than you in a non-family context, just think about people in your family that are still acting crazy, you know? No guarantee for maturity at any age. That's for sure. I hope no one judges me. I was involved with one who's in his 50s. Girl, don't I know? I remember that year of you. But we live and learn. It was interesting because last night, one of the guys that we were with, he's like almost 40, I think. He has two kids, 15 and 13. He got married when he was 23 and his wife was 21. It says, freedom is being in charge of your own destruction and jealousy is a disease. I hope you find a cure. Yeah, he was 23. His wife was 21. They had two kids. And I was like, okay, so you're married? He's like, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. His wife is Chinese. They met in China. And he's like, I love my wife. I respect her, blah, blah, blah. She's, but we were so young, married, and young people, like, take your time. There's no rush to get involved. Like, he basically said they both know that by the time the kids grow up, they're probably going to get divorced and like part ways, because if yeah, she didn't have kids so quickly and there wasn't so much responsibility, especially financially, um, their life would be very different. So he was like very upfront about the realities of getting married young and having kids young. Not that I ever romanticized that to begin with, but I think, you know, he's saying the quiet part out loud, that's for sure. Any advice for how one might be more unapologetic? I think the first step is like being compassionate with yourself, giving yourself the space to be angry when you're angry, to be sad when you're sad. And giving yourself that permission means that you no longer seek it from other people. So you can just be how you are, communicate as authentically as you can, and people can just take it and leave it. Take it or leave it, you know? Recognize and accept that it doesn't matter what you do, there's always going to be people that have a problem with you. So you may as well do the things that you actually enjoy. If you're living for other people, you're still going to get hated on. So you may as well live for yourself and in service of others who you have like mutually respectful relationships with, and fuck everyone else, honestly. Even as a 20-year-old, I found myself the adult in the room, even among people in their 50s. Yeah. Hyper independence and being mature is a trauma response sometimes. Yeah, videos help me a lot and to think critically. I feel like people say the quiet part out loud all the time. It's like the Freudian slip. I'm dating a guy who told me he would propose by the end of April. And when the end of April came, he told me he's not ready to propose. He wants to wait for him and be ready. I'm 32 and want kids. No. Telling someone you're going to propose is like a really big promise and commitment to let come out of your mouth to not follow through, in my opinion. Okay. Wait, how long? The fuck? Does he have enough money to even provide for children if you had them? My 30s for being hot and having fun after 3 years of hitting rock bottom. Proud of you, babe. Slay. Where are you from? I'm from Australia, but I'm Chinese. I'm Chinese. Yeah. I mean, how do I differentiate love bombing and just being affectionate in the beginning? I think love bombing is like a lot of big promises and plans that are not in alignment with like the level of familiarity that you have. I feel like it's important to learn to live in the moment, you know? Then you are protected from love bombing because you can just enjoy the attention and the perks, and then when the perks stop, you leave. You're not interested anymore. So don't focus so much on the man, focus on the experience that they can facilitate for you. And if it's enjoyable, and if it's not enjoyable, leave. That's what being hot and having fun is all about. Okay. We're hot and having fun together. Great. We're not hot and having fun together anymore. Goodbye. I'm curious about young people in China. Are they trying to get married or is it less of a thing? All my homies in Chengdu, Shanghai have a pretty casual view of marriage, and a lot of women I know are single, pretty fine with being single and working on their careers. Yeah. I think for people in bigger cities, they are more realistic about marriage. In more rural areas of China, I think it's still pretty normal to get married and have kids at a young age. But I think that culturally it's just different in China because women are kind of expected to work common for like mother and father to be working, and then you like hand the kids over to the grandparents. So yeah, like especially women that are doing well in big cities, there's probably less and less interest in getting married. But I also feel like, pick me culture is very much alive and well. There's plenty of women that are looking for a man to save them. China is a very big country, very diverse population, so it's hard to say. For real, better to do what's right for us than to live for others. Yes, you can't please everyone. He's well established. How do I end things? Do you have a script I could use in my situation? Just say, I don't think we're on the same page. Wish you the best. I don't know, babe. It's your relationship. I feel like this is something that you also need to figure out on your own. That's how you're going to learn and grow. I don't actually give dating advice. But yeah, it's clear that your values or like what you want to do, what you're looking for is not aligned. The 50-year-old dude mentioned marriage, but flipped it around during the breakup and said, I mentioned it to quell your anxiety. That was so low of him. I didn't like marriage, but felt tricked. Now I learn better and can learn to discern stuff like this better. He made a lot of big promises and plans like getting married, but to see me from the UK to Asia, but I don't know, after that it's just been not the same. So I don't know if we're getting past the honeymoon stage and getting stable, or he's less interested now that we're together. I hate it here. Just focus on doing things that you enjoy and keep you present. And then, whatever happens with the guy happens, You can't control him. Let him demonstrate where he's at and take it at face value if he's not communicating. I was friend zoned by my best guy friend, but he keeps wanting to hang out one-on-one. It's confusing. I accept we are friends, but it's unusual how close we are. Drop him. As a man, why am I being generalized? Because you lack critical thinking, maybe? Women are generalized all the fucking time. I don't see the point in fighting against it. I just live my life. If it applies to me, I'll consider it. If it doesn't apply to me, I won't. It's that easy. People can see by example whether I'm part of a generalization or not. I could give less than two fucks. Honestly, at this day and age, as women, we need to protect our peace and just do whatever the fuck we want and be a little selfish. What's everyone's plan today? It's Friday. Yeah. Wondering if it's worth waiting. We've been dating for 6 months. Don't know if I'm being unreasonable to expect a proposal. If he told you he was going to propose, it's not unreasonable to expect a proposal. Okay. He should have kept his mouth shut if he wasn't ready. A man should not be throwing marriage around like it's nothing, okay? Because they know that it's a huge commitment. It's very expensive to get divorced a lot of the times. He should not. They use it as a tactic to manipulate you because they think that a lot of women still value marriage or think it's like a prize. It's not. It's a prison sentence for most people. So if he's throwing around getting married and not following through, that's a huge red flag. Don't ever let a man friend zone you, in my opinion. And don't get too close, At some point, it's like two single people, a male and a female, hanging out and speaking regularly. Why don't you just date if you're so compatible in that way, in my opinion? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have guy friends or guy acquaintances, but I don't think that being very close with straight men without some buffer in between, whether that's they're in a relationship with someone else, you have a professional interest, don't waste your time and energy with men in like close friendships, close borderline codependent friendships, because they're harvesting your energy. Okay. They're attention farming. A lot of dudes say and promise a lot of things, but no follow through in action. Yeah. One dating advice from someone who used to only talk to men for pure entertainment is be selfish and focus on yourself until they ask you out. Act single. Exactly. Why would you let a man smile for free? Every now and then you can participate in some charity, but yeah, you need to be selfish, because a woman's version of selfish, for the most part, is like a man being generous. Okay. So your idea of selfish is just learning to set a healthy boundary, probably, and not even necessarily doing it that consistently in comparison to men who are conditioned to be selfish. Those are the excuses he's using now that marriage is a huge commitment. He doesn't want to get divorced again. Bruh, if he's being divorced and he's promising marriage and not following through, that's crazy. He definitely knows how big of a commitment marriage is, and if he's being fucking divorced, he should not be promising marriage willy-nilly, okay? It's not like he's 23, like the guy that I met who actually got married at 23. This guy's been divorced, and he's like, yeah, let's get married. I think he was loving you into getting more attached to you. TBH, I feel we're in the same situation. Oh, real on the harvesting energy. They're filming your light and drain it. Yes. I didn't lose anything, so I refused to trust him based on his actions and words not matching. Right. Can't apply my own advice to myself now after trying that love girl shit. But trust, I'll be back in my baddie era real soon. I support you. I support this. Oh my God, is my food here? No, you deserve better. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, that was a false alarm. It says that it's delivered, but it is not delivered. Where is my food? Please do not tell me I sent it to the wrong address. That would be really dumb. Okay, obviously he's running late and said he delivered it before he actually has. Wait. Wait. Okay, Slay! You can always decide that you're back in the bad bitch train anytime you want. Exactly. I agree. Something never felt right with me seeing female friends have a guy best friend and vice versa. There was always drama and clear crossing of boundaries. Yeah. You got to learn the hard way, guys. I haven't broken up with him because I'm attached and asked him to end things, but I can't, and he refuses to let me go. It's so frustrating. Told him I need space. Best I could do. You're giving your power away. Yes. Hi from California. Hi from Shanghai. What up, boss? What's up? Yeah. There are men in my life who I love. you know, love and respect, but it's not like everyday chit chat, full investment in their problems or like what's going on with them. I'm always happy to create a safe emotional space for men every now and then if they need someone to talk to, but I'm not going to do that every day. So yeah, I think they harvest your energy. They use you as a free cosign to other women, you know. If you are a woman of integrity and you're a baddie, just being next to a man makes him look good, okay? And they know that. So choose who you associate with very carefully. It needs to be mutually beneficial, you know. I was like friends with a guy who I also had some like work interests with, and he was like pushing for a friendship as well. For me, I was entertaining it purely because of the work interests. And then the friendship just became way too chaotic. Like he would message me every single day, always complaining or talking about the girls that he was dating and obviously being a fuckboy. And then the work started to be unprofessional as well. And like people would literally ask me like, why are you friends with him? You know, like you're so much better than him, blah, blah, blah. And I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, like, yeah, maybe he is different or whatever to before because he had a bad reputation before, but then everyone said that he's much nicer post-pandemic, whatever. And then in the end, it was just like, I'm not getting anything out of this. It's harder to work with you than any of my other clients and collaborators. And you are so insane. I'm not making enough money to deal with your problems like this. And if a girl knows that we're friends and thinks that you're a decent guy because you know me, huge L. Or you've fucked over some girl and then they're like, why is Amber friends with him? Also, not a slay. So I'm in California too. I do have a few male friends, but I'm decentering them, not attached, or be there all the time. It's so draining. I can't do that. I'm super black and white. We're either all in or not. And the type who loves my solitude. Literally. I didn't agree to his friendship after the disrespect, access denied. I'm taking space to focus on myself during the Scorpio full moon. I support you in this motion. Honestly, I love being friends with women and men because I find them so draining. Men benefit just from being in proximity with women, period. Exactly. You should start a podcast. I already have one. It's called Friend Crush with Amber Killer. I'm trying to detach from a man that is not emotionally responsible. Attach to your happiness and your contentment. And you'll realize you don't need to be doing all that to be happy. Yeah. I mean, most of my content is like decentering men because I think that's still the step that most women need to start. Okay. But decentering men doesn't mean you hate men. It doesn't mean you have to ignore them. It just means that you can live in harmony with them in a healthier way and also be mindful of your boundaries and prioritizing your needs as well, rather than assuming that everybody else's needs have to come before yours. It has to be a symbiotic, mutual exchange, you know? So don't let men smile for free. Have fun and then dip. Like last night, I had a great time with all these random ass men. They paid for all the drinks. And then I went home. Truth. He invited me to a gala and got to be seen with me. Exactly. What are you having? I'm having hot Americano and fennel sausage bagel. Let's unbox together. Ooh! Yummy. They give you gloves as well in China, which I love. It looks like a condom. Protection! Yeah, like my guy friend, people would ask him if we were dating. I was like, no, we can't have that. No. Keep it demure and mindful. So good. But yeah, I think something that I had to learn, and many women have to learn, is the difference between people being attracted to you and you being attracted to other people. Just because someone is attracted to you doesn't mean that you have to be attracted to them, you know? And it's like so insidious sometimes. You're just like, oh, well, he likes me and he's chasing me. So like, I kind of like the attention, so I must like him too. But do you actually like them? You really need to ask yourself. You need to keep your eyes open. And that can happen in any context, you know, in work, in friendship, and in romance. You think that people's interest in you equals compatibility with them, you know? That's not really how it works. Hello Kitty diversity headband, yes. Cute, chaotic, and critical thinking. And you know what? If the guy heard that people thought you were going out, it gives him an ego boost, right? Oh my God, I was so annoyed. That was the beginning of the end, honestly. Because I was like, I would never date him. So I shouldn't be spending this much time with him because I'm not making enough money. It's getting in the way of me being able to make money stress-free when he's messaging me all the time about his problems. This time apart allowed me to realize I'm settling. He thinks he's the prize, but he's super delusional. Yeah. That's why he's baiting you with marriage. I had to learn this lesson in work recently as well. Like people wanting me to work on stuff, which I'm very flattered, but realizing that like I don't want to do the work. It's not compatible with what I want to focus on. And when I first came back to Shanghai, like 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I was down to do anything. You know, it was important for me to say yes to all different kinds of opportunities, get experience, build my portfolio, and then, you know, the dynamic or the priorities start to shift once you have enough experience, once you're clearer on what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing. So you don't have to say yes to everything anymore, you know, say yes until you can start saying no. And I think that's the same thing with dating as well. Like explore different experiences when you don't have that much experience. And then once you kind of get a feel for what you're into, what you're not into, what treatment you like, what you don't like, you can be more discerning. And that's like a parallel process with learning how to nurture your own happiness and your own joy, learning how to structure your own life in a way that is exciting for you, is motivating for you, inspiring for you. And then you can be more discerning on who is compatible with that, what relationships are compatible with that in work, in friendship, and in romance, you know. And I've been talking a lot about friend breakups recently because now that I'm in my early 30s, this is another transition period. I mean, the transition period never ends. Everything is changing all the time. But people that I met in my early 20s, I'm no longer on the same page as, our values are different, or our values have become more clear and the incompatibilities are more and more obvious. And that's really difficult to come to terms with. You're kind of grieving like this friendship that you assumed or you wanted to believe was going to continue. You didn't imagine an end to it. And now you're kind of like, damn, we are not on the same page. But then I also saw a TikTok that was talking about how like most people kind of go through big friendship shifts like every 7 years. So, that's just life. You're the prize by walking away and disappearing. Just go MIA, not playing games. You're taking your power back, yes. Your energy back, your light that he dimmed. Take it back by not letting him in your life anymore, not entertaining his energy. Do the things you love, creativity, art, hobbies, pursue that. As women, it's important. I take my power back by alchemizing it into art and videos. I put on my YouTube channel. Iconic. Blocked his number. I'm going to do the inner work. Slay. I have my training for a breakup podcast episode if you need additional resources. Alice has been through it, okay? I remember. Listen to her. She speaks from experience. What made you pick living in Shanghai versus Australia a few years ago? I moved to Shanghai when I finished my law degree in 2017. And then I'm obsessed. Love Shanghai down. Got stuck in Australia during the pandemic, not slay, but still slay at the same time in different ways. I just always wanted to come back to Shanghai. Love Shanghai, love China. And there's just more opportunities here. I feel the pace is more suited to like this stage of my life. I think I want to be able to just like go out and do stuff and also not go out and do stuff if I don't want to. And in Australia, it's kind of hard to be outside, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I am Chinese as well. So like connecting to my culture, my ethnicity is important. Do you like K-pop? Yes. I was a BTS. I don't know if I was a stan, close to stan status. I was posting BTS memes every day when I was really depressed in 2018. And I saw them perform in Thailand in 2019. It was like the closest thing I'll get to like a mass spiritual experience. Hey, Queen, love your YouTube channel. Thank you so much for supporting. Oh, she's a baddie law. Yeah, guys, I have a law degree. Oh my God, Amber, remember, I was a clown, but not anymore. I'm proud of you, Alice. That's exactly what I'll do, transmute the pain because I'm an alchemist. Exactly. Did you watch When Life Gives You Tangerines? No. Is that the BTS variety show? I'm not deep in BTS fandom anymore, but I support them. It's a K-drama, okay. I'm not into K-drama, but I am into K-pop. I don't really have the patience to like watch TV. I kind of just like binge a TV show once every few months and then like keep it moving. My fave band is Boy Next Door for sure. Are they new? Never even heard of them. I feel like recently I've been more into girl groups. Not recently, like now I'm kind of like I don't want to say passive, but I just listen to see like which songs I like versus like focusing on a band in particular. And for me with BTS, it was definitely more like their personalities that drew me in, less so the music itself. But Pied Piper is a banger. Love that song. Well, I watch K-dramas with subs to learn Korean. That's smart. I should do that with C-drama and improve my Mandarin. Sometimes watching too much stuff makes you a little angsty. Yeah, when I finished watching Severance, my brain was fried for like a week. They're newly debuted in 2023. They're going to be 2 years this month. Oh, okay, they're babies now. Boy Next Door, that's a good name. Like Party Next Door, but wholesome. Couldn't get into watching the second season of Severance. Should I give it another try? My friend and I binged it on 1.3 speed. That's the only way that I could get through it. They're so different from other groups. Like you'll never catch other groups doing what they do for real. Boy Next Door, really? Okay, noted. What is Severance about, if you don't mind sharing? Do you recommend it? Oh my God, I take a break from shows. Severance is about this company that has created a technology where you can implant a thing into your brain and sever between your innie and your outie. Your outie is the person that lives their life, and then your innie is the version of you that goes to work, and your innie and outie are separated. So what you do at work for this company, you don't remember when you leave work. It's like a metaphor for late stage capitalism and corporate culture. But considering the potential themes or the way that they could handle themes in the show, I don't know. Like I rewatched the first season of Westworld after I finished season 1 and 2 of Severance. That's iconic. Like Westworld over Severance 1,000,000%. But I guess Severance, it's like more for the drama than it is for challenging anything. Like, even though it's set against like a corporate, late capitalist backdrop, it doesn't really do anything to challenge or like comment on it. You know, it's more focused on like what's happening between the characters and the drama. But like, I don't know. Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I need to go now. Nice connecting with you all, Amber. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Have a great day, Alice. Have you seen Desperate Housewives? I watched it when I was a teenager with my mom. Iconic. I do want to rewatch it, but I don't have time. Bye, Melissa. Good luck. I highly recommend Queen's Gambit. It's about chess. I love chess. That's my favorite show. Take care, take care. I'm staying up painting press-ons for a city trip. Illy Amber posture check. Thank you. What a concept. Thanks for that. You're welcome. I have to watch YouTube videos 2x speed, otherwise too boring. Yeah. I feel like this could have been a Black Mirror episode. I might start watching it. I watched the first episode and the third or the fourth episode of the new season of Black Mirror with my friend. Depressing. Season 2 ending killed me, right? I mean, Okay, the problem is I binged season 1 with my friend, went on TikTok, saw cuts of season 2. The ending was spoiled for me before I went into season 2, so I already knew what was gonna happen in the end. I just didn't know how they were gonna get there. Not surprised that that's what happened ultimately. But, like, what are they gonna do now, you know? Ugh. I haven't seen any of the most recent Black Mirror episodes yet. Right. Black Mirror doesn't hit the same anymore. I need to start the new season. I heard HBO's The Studio is hilarious. Oh, what's The Studio about? Rewatch it. It's so much better than Sex and the City. Right. It's actually so crazy how your interpretation of media changes as you change, you know? Like when I was younger and I watched Sex and the City, I didn't think that critically about it. I remember being like, why is she so obsessed with Big? It kind of seems like he hates her. Like, why would you want to marry a guy who left you at the altar? That's crazy. But I didn't have like the language or the understanding to like really articulate this gut feeling I had towards the show. And, you know, it was more like, oh, iconic fashion, blah, 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 New York, slay. And then when I rewatched it, it probably would have only been like a few years ago. And people were talking and analyzing the show on TikTok. I was literally like, Carrie sucks. She is a hoe. She's a crazy ass pick me. Also not a very good friend. Oh my God. She pissed me off. And then it was also really interesting. I watched like a video by The Take that talks about Samantha and her confidence and how she has become one of the favorite characters, and her character previously wasn't like as well received. And a lot of the comments are like, yeah, but living like Samantha is really hard. It's hard to like be that confident, or it's hard to like reject societal expectations or whatever. I was like, oh, I really never thought about that. Well, even if it is hard, it doesn't mean it's not worth doing, because she seems way happier than everybody else. The only times that she's unhappy is because I feel like they had to even it out for Sarah Jessica Parker. Penny, for your thoughts on Bravo shows / the Real Housewives universe. Another thing that I need to get into. I have friends that are like obsessed with Real Housewives. I haven't really watched it or gotten into it. I follow Bethany Frankel. She's iconic. But yeah, everyone says that Real Housewives is like amazing. And after watching it, they struggle to maintain interest in other shows because there's not enough drama. Yeah. She's so insufferable. Yeah, Carrie. I love how the edits now are like POV, like Big's POV, and it being like a horror film for him. When Carrie rocks up at his door with McDonald's or whatever. It's so funny. Like, that's definitely not what our generation was interpreting that relationship or that show as. So I think it's cool that like the young generation has a totally different point of view. That's what they need. Okay, if a man tries to leave you at the altar, maybe don't marry him. Bethany Frankel's character development through Real Housewives of New York is devastating. Really? she goes through a divorce, right? But also, my understanding is she also goes through like the hero's journey. Like she becomes like a gajillionaire from her skinny girl IP. What do you think of Bethany as a Real Housewives viewer, though? Because I see some people being like, she's so full of herself, blah, blah, blah. Seems to me like she has every right to be. If she's been a public figure for so long and had to share so much of her personal life. The Studio is a comedy about a movie exec juggling corporate success and pursuing creative ambitions. Wait, I'm going to Google it. The Studio. What a creative name. Is it like Entourage? That was an iconic show. The Studio. It's Apple or it's HBO? That looks good. Yummy. I don't want to spoil it for you. I need to know. I feel like I already have like a gist of Bethany Frankel's lore. Okay, it's an Apple show. Seth Rogen. Interesting. Okay, maybe I'll watch an episode today while I rot. It's definitely a journey. Okay. I kind of want to watch like different media that has like a different set of values than America and Hollywood. You know what I mean? Or is it the same everywhere? I feel like it's different, but I haven't haven't made the effort to pivot. After watching Severance, I was like, this is too depressing. But I love that Gemma, the actress for Gemma, is Australian. Like when I was watching it, I was like, this lady is so familiar. And then I realized I remember watching her on Neighbours in Australia when I was a kid. I highly recommend starting with Atlanta or Orange County. Okay, I have watched some of Atlanta, but many years ago. Just heard your podcast with FDS. Loved it. Oh my God. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Any highlights or any topics that you want me to expand on in my own podcast, please let me know. That was good. No regrets. It was really fun talking to the queens at FDS. They changed hosts. Like, I remember as a Reddit page during the pandemic. And then, yeah, they changed hosts maybe like a year ago for the podcast. And then they hit me up because I accidentally met one of the hosts without realizing. Oh my God, or Sydney season 1. There's a show called Sydney. Wow. It was so crazy the other day. Like last night, the British guy was like, your accent, is it Perth? I was like, what the fuck? He was like, I'm very familiar with this accent. I've never had someone guess that I'm from Perth before. They always guess Sydney or Melbourne first. S'mores cookie unboxing. Gorgeous. The melted marshmallow, caramelized marshmallow. Very important. Mmm. Oh, wait, I meant to be going to photo fairs today, which is like an exhibition, photo exhibition in Shanghai that happens every year at the Shanghai Exhibition Center, which is Sino-Soviet friendship building, a gift from Russia. The architecture is so crazy, the interior. Very camp, very kitsch. To the exhibition so I can go to the exhibition center. That looks so great. Oh my God. Yeah, yummy, yummy. Oh, Real Housewives of Sydney, right. Wag life. I think the clips that I've seen from Australian housewives are so funny. I would love to be on a reality TV show for like a day. Do you follow Superficial Sharon? No. What kind of content do they make? The poster says, freedom is being in charge of your own destruction. What's other topics you were thinking of discussing? I don't even know. I have a really long list of potential topics, but I just kind of need to like lock in to one, and then that's what I record. Social commentary. Okay, Slay. I feel like you wouldn't have the patience to watch Real Housewives or to be in a reality TV show. Just coming from your video with non-confrontation, I agree so much with it. Yay! Yeah. Don't give people an opportunity to call you crazy after they've acted crazy, okay? Maybe I can talk about like how to balance not giving a fuck, but also maintaining your reputation, you know? Because I think a lot of people take being unbothered to an extreme where it's like they're not considerate of other people anymore. But it's important to still be demure and mindful, and balance, you know, your needs with the needs of the people that you respect. Okay, I missed the comment before about me if they removed from my life. Can you please reshare? BRB. I was just saying I ghost them without explanation, and people call me crazy, right? But at least you don't have a paper trail. I screenshot messages all the time, so I always think about other people screenshotting what I say and then trying to use it. Better to say nothing. Silence, no response is also a response. Maybe that could be a topic. It's hard. I'm somewhere where if you hurt my feelings, I have to let them know before I walk away. I have to tell them I'm ghosting. Just write it in your journal next time. You're so little. Have a good day. You too, babe. Yeah, I think release yourself from mental traps of I'm this, I'm that, if being those things doesn't work in your favor, you know? You recognize that you've been telling yourself that you need to tell people how you feel. You need to tell people what you're doing. Rewrite the script. I don't need to tell anyone anything. I'm going to acknowledge and accept the disrespect as it arises and respond accordingly. Look at this chocolate. Crazy. I just want to eat the marshmallow part. I'm going to go soon. Huh? Yeah, I wonder if anyone's ever confronted someone with success about the disrespect they've experienced. I feel like success rate is not that high for therapists to be recommending that people do that. Thank God I'm catching another live. Welcome. I'm going to go soon though, babe. But any thoughts and feelings? Share. Should I become a Twitch streamer? I kind of don't want to have to go outside so much. Or do you think I should just continue with YouTube and TikTok? Like, do people actually use Twitch if you don't game? Because I don't game, so maybe it's not the right platform for me. I just feel really inspired by Vanilla Mace's come up. She's so iconic. Twitch is a hellhole, stream on YouTube. Okay. Noted. Twitch is scary sometimes, really. Like, how do you discover new streamers on there? Is it kind of like a feed as well? I confronted a guy. We talk a bit. He's not responding now. Focus on yourself. Not worth it if you're not getting paid. If you're not having fun or getting paid, the stress is not worth it. Some stress is worth enduring if the bag is big enough. But if the bag is not big enough, focus on something else. YouTube is good for lives. It comes on the homepage. Okay. Slay. What are you eating that looks so good? S'mores cookie. I had a whole fennel sausage Parmesan bagel, Americano, s'mores cookie. because I'm hungover. I was saying at the beginning of the live that I only drink like once every quarter, if that, like I barely drink. Last night I fulfilled my quota for, I feel like this year so far, I haven't really drank. Maybe a wine every now and then, which is not even often. But yeah, I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night. I was like planning to go to bed after I finished DJing at 10:30, and then I went to bed at 5 a.m. Okay. I feel like I'm getting used to the thought of not ever finding a person, but a part of me is fearful. That's okay. You're still grieving the fantasy that another person can complete you, but the only person you need to find is yourself. You don't need to find the one, you need to become the one. That's what someone said in my live last time, which I'm going to upload on YouTube. My Aussie baddie is live. Game recognized game. Did you have fun at least? I did. It was funny. Also, usually I hang out with girls and gays, and I think every now and then being around straight energy is good to just maintain balance and perspective. So I was hanging out with a bunch of dudes yesterday, and then I think I'm also going to be hanging out with a bunch of dudes this weekend in Tokyo, but Tokyo is such a straight city. Definitely needed to stay grounded in the real world, Lemare. Yeah. Literally me forcing myself to go out with friends tomorrow. Have fun. The caramelized marshmallow. So good. I'm so glad I got a s'mores cookie and not a regular chocolate chip. That was slay. Yeah, it was interesting because I was saying before that one of the guys that I met last night, he's from the UK, and he's in his late 30s, early 40s. He has 2 kids, 15 and 13. So he got married when he was 23 and his wife was 21. So I was like, oh my God, how did you know she was the one? And he straight up was just like, I love my wife. I respect her. She's the mother of my children. But we got married when we were so young. We didn't know what we were doing. We were not fully formed human beings. And yeah, I always tell young people, take your time, don't rush it. Because for the sake of the children, they're still together, basically. They're like, yeah, we both know that when the kids grow up, we're probably going to go separate directions. A very sobering conversation. Not that I'm that idealistic about marriage, but when someone that you literally just met an hour ago is so upfront about their marriage and their family, it's very telling. Yes, spring is here, summer is approaching, become the one, the sun is shining. Exactly. I'm in my friend's wedding next week. She's 23. I have so many thoughts, but keeping them all and just supporting. Very, very admirable. She's 23. How old is her fiance? Why is she doing this? Oh my God. I need to know more. Should I do a parcel unboxing? I just received some deliveries. Your guess is as good as mine. Yes, immature fiance is 25. Oh my God. Do they have money? The only reason to get married when you're young is if you're going to be increasing the net worth 2 families' net worths combined. Otherwise, why? 31, if I got married, I'd feel like a child bride. Same. What the hell? I don't even know. 23? When I was 23, I'd like just graduated, just moved to Shanghai. At least I get to go to Mexico. Okay, that's a sleigh. I do really want to go to Mexico, but it's really far away from China. Love you, love you. Thank you for all the wisdom you share. You're very welcome. I don't even consider it wisdom. I'm just sharing as I go, as I learn, as I evolve. It's definitely not final, anything that I say, but we're in the journey together, you know? That's the point. But legit, I'm 25, never had a boyfriend. I think I didn't have my first proper boyfriend until I was 26. And after that, I was like, I'm good. Should have just stayed single. Are you from Shanghai? My family is from Fujian province, which is southeast China. And I grew up in Australia, but I live in Shanghai now. Let's do an unboxing. I'm going to get my stuff. Okay, I don't have as many parcels as I thought. But let's see what's arrived. I received a lot of tops the other day because I was trying to revamp my top game for summer, and I think I'm going to return most of what I bought. It's not what I'm looking for. Okay, new tissue box. Slay, brocade, pink. Just had my first boyfriend at 18, never again after 11 years, period. Love her. Okay, I feel like shoes. I hope they fit. I'm worried they're going to be too small. But I got them for a great price. Okay, perfect fit. Ow! I had a pair of like pink and silver kind of like sporty ballet flats, but they're on their last legs. I think they're looking a bit worn in. So I've decided to get a red. Do you see? Love. With Ed Sheeran and Lindsay. Oh my god. Great purchase. I'm so happy. And they fit. Let me check the mirror. This is the other pair I have to compare. But yeah, they're looking really crusty musty. The only thing is these are a little bit more effort because they have a Velcro strap. These you can literally just slip on. But that's okay. Actually, you can slip these off. I guess if you keep the Velcro a little loose, it's easier to slip on and off. Because I'm lazy. And I think these are good shoes to wear in the summer if I'm going to yoga, going to pole dance. Recommend both pairs. They're great. They look great. Thank you. So good. Do you wear without socks? Yeah, you can wear with or without socks. Depending on how long you're going to be in them, I think. I never hear you speak Chinese. Which language are you fluent in? I'm definitely more fluent in English than Chinese. What are you doing, sweeping? I bought this the other day too for my pressure points. It feels so good. And this was really cheap. It's only like 30 RMB, I think. Let me check. Oh my God, those shoes got here so quickly. I literally just bought them and they were sent over from Chengdu. 2460 RMB. So good. If you want to hear me speak Chinese, I speak it in my introduction video on my YouTube. Oh my God, these boots are 18,000 RMB. Are you serious? My favorite shoe brand. I don't really have a favorite shoe brand. I'm definitely more of like an item girl, you know, like if I like the item, I don't care what brand it is. I'm not like a brand loyalist, to be honest. Yeah, I say like 2 sentences in Chinese in my introduction video. My Chinese is fucked up. Okay, we're gonna transfer tissues. Oh my God, I love her. She's so cute. Slay. Button her up. Oh my God. Isn't she cute? Bruh. Should I just throw this away? Like, what the hell? This is way cuter. Let me put this. Because I just bought a pink cabinet and it has like orchids on it. And then this. So ugly. But this goes perfectly. I'm so happy. dermatologist. Okay, this is for your pressure points. Like Chinese aunties and uncles, they go like this a lot. So you can use this instead of your fist. It feels so good. And then also here on your butt. Lower back. Legs. This is great to show guests. Guys, I'm sharing traditional Chinese medicine knowledge. Would you ever do a room tour? I don't know. Do I need to do a room tour? I feel like I exist on live in one place. Have you had lymphatic massage before? I think Chinese massage is kind of like lymphatic already. They focus on like your pressure points. And I do lymphatic on my face myself. What are the benefits of doing that? Good for your releasing tension in your pressure points, increasing blood flow. Your shirt looks cool. Thank you. It's vintage. Hysteric glamour. I had a friend who used to beat her legs to help with dampness or something. Yes. I have a lot of dampness. Every time I see a Chinese doctor, that's what I'm diagnosed with, because I don't get enough sleep and my diet, too much dairy, too much fried food, too much sugar. All really great if you want to increase your dampness, which is not what I'm doing, not what I want to do. Isn't that what you're working on right now? Lol. Yes, it is. I deviated from the path yesterday by drinking and going to bed at 5 a.m., but it's okay. Everything in moderation, guys. Probably going to continue the deviated path in Tokyo this weekend, but it's okay. I'll come back and I'll lock in. I'm thinking of taking like a month from social media between mid-May to mid-June. Yeah, but I'm going to schedule like a bunch of content and stuff during that time. I just need to lock in. Maybe I want to be off TikTok and Instagram on a daily basis, and maybe I can do like a live stream once a week just to check in. But I feel like the daily checking and the posting and the yapping is not working in my favor right now. So I need to shift focus. She was full on with it to the point of bruises. Is that really what's required? No, I don't think you need to do it to the point of bruises. It is normal to get bruises if you do acupuncture, but only like very small ones, not big ones. Like I massage the acupressure point below my belly button, and then I'll get like a little bruise there sometimes. Please schedule. I need your vids. Yeah, I'm going to schedule content, but I want to lock in, do a bunch of content, do a season of the podcast, and make a bunch of music, and maybe paint this blank canvas that I've had since August. That's my goal. Girl, you are a DJ. Does that affect your mental health? It's all right. I think I don't drink, firstly. That's a huge thing. I DJ because I love music and I love DJing, not because I love partying. A lot of people love partying more than they love DJing, and that's why they're a DJ. But yeah, because I don't really drink, that's helped. I think also because I do other things outside of DJing that are music related and not music related, that also helps me to keep perspective, because underground music scene, or just like any scene anywhere for any around any skill or craft, it can get kind of toxic. And yeah, like the walls can start to like close in while people are beefing and going through drama. So I think that helps me to maintain perspective for sure. But yeah, I did like intentionally take a bit of a step back from DJing really often this year. I'm going to reassess over summer, because I was just DJing all the time for like the first 2.5 years coming back to Shanghai, which was necessary for sure. Like, I don't regret that. But I think getting to a point where I can like reassess what I want to focus on was also really good. Like, I was getting sick of seeing my own name on posters. I was like, I'm DJing again? Like, oh my God. And I think other people were getting sick of seeing me DJ everywhere. So yeah, taking a little break and then figuring out what I want to do next. I still want to DJ, but I think how I DJ evolves over time, which I'm very grateful for, because I think before, when I first started DJing, it was like a war zone in Australia. I got to Shanghai, I hustled for like 2 years, got to like a semi-stable place, and then the pandemic happened. I was stuck in Australia, not DJing, existential crisis. Do you ever feel existential? Yes. That's what most of my content is, me reconciling with my existential dread. So yeah, not DJing, feeling like I failed myself. And then coming back to Shanghai, DJing a lot, which I'm very grateful for. And I never really felt like I got to a point where I could be more selective about what I was doing. It was always just like hustle, hustle, hustle. Like, you need to do more work, you need to get more experience, you need to build more contacts, whatever. And getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel happy with what I've achieved. There's obviously so much more that I want to do, but at least I can be more selective. I mean, I'm in a position where I don't have to say yes to everything anymore. And I can be like a little bit more discerning with the work that I do. So love that. I also think not partying makes you a better DJ. Right. I feel like one thing for me is like, if I can't enjoy a song sober, then I don't think it's a good song. And there's a lot of music, like, that is kind of wrapped with alcohol and drug consumption. But for me, it's like, if I can have a good time being sober and I can get everyone else into it, whether they're sober or not, that's to me like a job well done, you know? Can you suggest me some leather pants? I need them for a party. Girl, I'm also wondering. I have a good pair of Citizens of Humanity leather pants. It's like leather and synthetic, I think. They're pretty good because I'm not really that precious with them. And they get the job done. How do you know you've outgrown a city and it's time to move? I think when you start asking yourself that question, it's already an indicator that you're reaching the end of your time, maybe, or your perspective is starting to shift. Yeah, when you But at the same time, I think it's also good to give it another chance and, like, explore the city in a way that's different to how you usually explore it, like, live in a different way. Change your algorithm with the city, and then see if that changes. Because sometimes it's not really about where you are, it's just about the way that you choose to live there. I was looking at Zara and Peter Sisters. Just look up Citizens of Humanity leather pants. But I bought them ages ago and they were on sale, so I don't even know if they're still available. When thinking in your head, what language do you think in? English mostly, sometimes Chinglish. It's annoying if I'm, like, really working on improving my Mandarin sometimes, and then I'm, like, making videos in English, and I wanna use, like, a Chinese word to explain something, but obviously, like, that's not gonna fly. That's very wise. I live in Sydney and feeling the itch to move to Melbourne. Yeah, that's valid, explore it. If you can visit Melbourne a bit before you make a move, I feel like it's a very visceral feeling for me when I go somewhere and I feel like I could live there. How'd your parents react to you becoming a DJ? Well, my mom was just like, you can't do this forever. You need to sleep, blah, blah, blah. And she's right. But yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that my mom just wants me to be happy, and I'm, like, financially independent, so can't be that bad. There's a rise of sober DJs. I feel like I've seen a lot of my faves talking about it. Yeah. I'm almost 2 years sober and like to go to raves and dancing. Fun! Oh my God, you're still live. Just finished an assignment and hope you're still on. Yes, I'm staying on for a little longer. I was going to leave, but I don't really have anywhere that I need to be today. So until later, at least. I've got another 20 minutes in me. Wouldn't it be sick to see you DJing in your 80s? A rave queen granny. Lol. I don't know. I think I'll always love DJing. I don't know if I'll always do it as a job. It's kind of crazy because I never really thought about it being a job. Even now, it still feels like a hobby, but it is like my main source of income. So I'm very grateful that I can like live in this way. But yeah, I've been doing it for so long. Like I don't even identify as a DJ, although I am a DJ. So it's interesting. But yeah, I feel like clubs are struggling globally because kids don't buy alcohol anymore. And there's room for, the business model to evolve, I think. Yeah, I hope your assignment, I hope you get a slay grade on your assignment. Do you have an idea of what field you want to enter after DJing? Good night, babe. Thanks for joining. I still work with music outside of DJing, which I enjoy. So I think it'll still be music related, even if it's not primarily DJing. More like behind the scenes type of music industry stuff, I think, is what I would be open to spending more time on. But I still enjoy DJing for now, and doing a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff, a little bit of the DJing stuff, a little bit of the music production stuff. How hard is it to learn Ableton? I think the hardest part about Ableton is just like forcing yourself to be on there and making shitty music until you make good music or music that you like. Because when you have like a very specific taste, it takes a while for your skill set to match your taste or for you to be able to translate your idea into the program, that's the biggest hurdle, I think, which is still something that I'm working on. But yeah, it's just like a bunch of trial and error for the most part. I think of using Ableton as like Photoshop for music, you know, it's like adding layers of sounds and editing the layers. Yeah. Well, I'm one of those kids, never drank, never will. Period. The beach is the best cure for a hangover. Yeah, but I'm not near the beach right now. I'm sorry, your vids got me through a breakup. He reached out after 6 months. I replied, but no feelings. Is this okay? Yeah, I mean, whatever you're okay with. I'm not here to like punish anyone. I'm just here to share my thoughts, my feelings, my experience, my perspective, and then you do with that what you will. And there's no perfect way to go about things. I think as long as you are open to learning from your mistakes and figuring out and focusing on whatever vibe you're trying to curate for your life, there is always value in the attempt. Okay, so don't beat yourself up if you do something that you regret or that you maybe feel like you knew better than to do. That's okay. You're just a person. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. Your hair is looking so long. Thank you. I got it cut the other week. Oh my God. And I asked them to like thin it out. I don't necessarily regret it, but I'm probably not going to do that again. I miss my hair because I saw like pictures of me with like full mane and I was like, damn, what was I thinking? You don't know what you got till it's gone. And then also like the first hairdresser, the cut was uneven. So there was like a little bit here that was like longer. And I just went and got my hair washed yesterday. It's already greasy because I went to bed at 5 a.m. And I just asked him to trim it and even it out for me. I was like, please help me. Best beach you've been to ever? The beach near where I grew up in Perth. My favorite beach ever. I hope my ashes are scattered there when I die. Go to lazy meal. Healthy lazy meal, steamed egg. Unhealthy lazy meal, pizza, pepperoni. There's this place in Shanghai that does this like pizza by the slice, by the square. Usually I don't like thicker crust, but it's like tomato, pepperoni. I want to say like some kind of like feta or goat's cheese or something with hot honey. Oh my God. Crack pizza. So good. Layers would look good with a blow dry, though. Bouncy blow dry, yes. Healthy hair, not so great. Execution looks good. Thank you. I'm going to be drinking sesame, almond, walnut milk every day. That reminds me, I need to make a batch. If you want to grow your hair, eat black sesame and black beans. I went to bed at 5 a.m. because I was DJing from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. And I thought originally it was meant to be 10:30 to 12:30. So when it was finishing at 10:30, I was like, okay, slay, I can go to bed early, blah, 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 sleep early, wake up early. But then I was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to have a glass of wine, YOLO. I kind of want a dirty martini now. And then I went to one bar, then another bar, then another bar. And I left at 4 a.m. and went to bed at 5. But it was good. I haven't been out in ages. and it was fun, market research. My sandwich, oh yeah. Fennel sausage parmesan bagel was delicious. So good. I'm so full now. Club, another club, yeah. And the last club we went to, like the after hours place, I literally couldn't believe it was a Thursday and there was people there at like 3 a.m. Like we were talking about UK music and then we were going to go there. But the times that I'd been there before, it was always like minimal house, which is like not really my vibe. So I literally forgot about that place. And then when we went, all the DJs were playing like jungle drum and bass, which was great. I haven't heard UK music being played in Shanghai in a long time. Have you been to Rottnest? Yes, I have. Have you been to Rottnest? I haven't been to Rottnest since maybe like 2018 or something. It's been a while. Or maybe I went in like 2022, 2021. Hi, are you Japanese? No, I'm Chinese. But I'm going to Japan tomorrow. Do DJs in China mix English, Chinese music and beats? And how does that work? Yeah, it depends. Commercial clubs, some play Chinese music, some play English music. For like underground dance scene, it's mostly foreign music, global club, and then occasionally people mix in like a Chinese song for nostalgia. But there's also Chinese electronic music producers as well. When they play their music, I guess that's considered Chinese. So not me watching your intro to ASMR video hoping to hear you speak Chinese. That video was funny. The one with my cousin, oh my god, that was so long ago. Back when I thought I was going to be an ASMR YouTuber. Not really, but it's not too late. I live in Sydney. The flights are expensive. Might as well go to Asia. Right. Yeah, because like I wouldn't go to Western Australia unless I was just trying to chill or going to make a bunch of money working on a mine. And you can chill in China too. Shorter hair looks great on you. Thank you. But I want it to be longer. Why did I cut it? But then it also makes my face look really small if it's too long, kind of, you know? I don't know. Do police crack down on clubs when illegal stuff gets down? Yeah. Big drug crackdown between like 2018 to like 2020. So there's like no drugs in the clubs in Shanghai, at least. Which I prefer. But there's mixed reviews about that. Yeah. Heading to bed. Glad I caught you live, girl. Thanks for joining. What else to do in Perth, real? Yeah, go to the beach, eat avocado toast, drink flat whites, Russian roulette for a good meal, low key. When I was there recently, I was like, I hate this feeling of like paying a bunch of money for a meal that I'm not satisfied with. I have the privilege of not having to do that when I'm in China. Everything is worth the money for the most part. The other day was like one of the first times in a long time that I had a meal and I was like, that did not live up to the hype. But that's very rare. Have you lived in the UK? I haven't. I visited London, but I haven't lived in the UK. New Pope just dropped. Why he got to be American though? So he can maintain US imperial interests within the Vatican and global Catholicism. Ever been there during a crackdown? What's it like? I actually haven't, touch wood. Considering how often I was DJing during the crackdown era, I'd never been in a like a raid or anything. But, they would basically come into the club, shut the party down temporarily, pee test everyone. It was like a tail system. So, like, if you get caught, you've got to name like 10 people or something for them to also test in order to get like a lighter punishment or something if you test positive. I don't know. I don't do drugs. So I was like, whatever. I had tried some of the drugs that people do, and I was like, I would not get arrested over this. I would not get deported over this. I'm sorry. What the hell? You guys are crazy. And yeah, I have been kind of censored before, but it's complicated because, like, the crazy thing is that a lot of people will like weaponize restrictions to, like, how do I explain it? It's like I feel like the underground scene is very niche and not like at the top of the government's priority list. But there are people in the scene that know what the regulations are. And if they have beef with someone, they will kind of like rat people out according. They'll be like, oh, they're violating like these regulations. And then they can use that as like a power play to like get their competitor or someone that they don't like in trouble. So I was kind of like caught up in one of those dramas a few years ago. How easy is Shanghai to navigate, though, for a foreigner who knows zero Chinese? Hong Kong and Shanghai are on my bucket list. Shanghai is okay, I think. It's definitely one of the most international cities in China. More and more people speak English. Even if they don't speak English, Chinese people are definitely very open to helping you for the most part, if they can. There's so many people here that, like, if one person won't help you, someone else will. I have a friend who just came back from Japan, and they are like Eastern European, and they said they were really shook at how like hands off Japanese people can be when you ask them for help. But Chinese people are quite different when it comes to that. They'll like invite you to their home. They'll introduce you to their children. Like, yeah. I think if you show like a willingness to connect, people will help you. Right. How do I de-center men as a teenage girl? I feel like it's so hard. What are you finding difficult about it? How are the queer spaces in Shanghai? Where do you find them? Well, I feel like queerness in China is kind of different to the West because the history of homophobia is very different to the West. So there are queer spaces, queer-friendly spaces for sure. But China is definitely more just like don't ask, don't tell kind of vibes when it comes to being gay, I feel. It's not like you're gonna get hate crimed on the street for being gay the way that you can in the West. A lot of people just wanna live their life and happen to be gay. It's not like I'm gay trying to live my life, you know? That's the impression that I get, but I don't wanna speak on behalf of the queer community. There's definitely queer-friendly spaces, especially in underground music. But yeah, it's just different, you know? Yeah. Hong Kong also is English friendly-ish, but it's very expensive. I recommend Shenzhen. Miss you for the longest time. Thanks for joining. Thoughts on Singapore? Haven't been to Singapore in a while. I'm down to go. I heard the youth scene is bubbling there. How easy is the visa work for a Westerner in China? What are restrictions, conditions? You can get companies to sponsor you. You can open a company and sponsor yourself. That's what I do. There is like a bit of paperwork and stuff involved, but I feel like it's kind of standard relative to any other place that you go and you want to work and live there. For me, it was worth it. No regrets. But yeah, lots of different pathways to come to China, I think. Tourist visa is a good starting point. Student visa, doing like a short course somewhere gets your foot in the door, and then you can meet people while you're here. Yeah, business visa, a lot of people use, and then you can also get a work permit once you find something that you want to commit to. I decentered men, but lately need to learn how to decenter women who still center men. How can I? Focus on doing things that you enjoy with people that enjoy those things too. And then just don't spend too much time like invested in other women's problems with men, Like I still love to kiki with my friends about dating drama or whatever, but it's done in a way where it's like they're just telling me a story. It's not like them trauma dumping and like asking you to help them figure things out and blah, 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 blah. Like an avoidance of them taking accountability for their actions or like not taking action. But yeah, I'm divesting from being like people's free therapist because I don't appreciate things that they didn't earn or pay for. Love to live in China for at least a period. My degree would be in STEM, so maybe that helps. Yeah, for sure. China is the best. Should you learn Mandarin before you come to study or work in China? You can come to study Chinese if you don't know how to speak Chinese. So, is it hard to make friends in Shanghai if your Mandarin is just so-so? I feel like they want more Western friends versus ABC. No, I don't find it that hard. I wouldn't think like that because there's so many people here. Some people prefer this, other people prefer that. I wouldn't let a preconceived idea stop me from doing something if I genuinely wanted to do it. I never thought about what me being ABC would mean for anything. When I came, I was just like, just get me there and I'll figure it out as I go. Would you have moved to Shanghai if you weren't Chinese? I don't know. I don't have to ask that question. My new thing is not entertaining realities that are not reality, Like I was dealing with someone that was not working very efficiently. So we kind of had to have a conversation about whether we could still work together or not. And they were like, what if I did everything faster? Like if I had worked faster, would that make a difference? And I was like, it doesn't really matter because you didn't. What good would it do for me to even entertain that possibility if it's not what I'm dealing with right now? Like I have to deal with the fact that you weren't. I can't think about the next thing because I made it clear that I wanted all these things done and they're not done. So what's the point of even asking that? I'm not going to live in a world where I'm not Chinese, or I don't need to live in a world where that's not the case. So why even ask that question, in my opinion? What about if it's always about guys? Different guys get tiring, not trauma, just not what I care about. Talk to other people, get new friends, and have different conversations. I also want to learn Mandarin at least enough to converse. Do it, do it, do it. Can you do it as an elective at school? Fave breakfast in Shanghai. I really like congee. I really like Tofu now, which is silken tofu, savory. The literal translation is tofu brain. Soft and silky tofu. Love slightly sweetened, freshly brewed soy milk. Dumplings are nice too, but I'm not really like a dumpling for breakfast type of gal. If I'm taking a friend out that's visiting, we can do that. Yeah. What is it like dating Chinese men if you have experience? I've never like really dated like a local Chinese guy. I've had like flirtations, fling. Yeah. I've had guys ask me out, but I have not really been out. I mean, for one, you wouldn't face racism in China. That's got to be a plus compared to Australia. Oh, for sure. 100%. A lot of Chinese people don't understand that, or like don't have to wrap their head around the difference for an ABC being in China and not having to deal with daily microaggressions. Although recently I have been not more aware, but like more cognizant about how people see you differently as an ABC, or how a lot of people do see you differently as an ABC, which I can't really do anything about. I do my best. Share opportunities where possible, support people where possible. Yeah. ABC is Australian-born Chinese or American-born Chinese. CBC, Canadian-born Chinese. BBC, British-born Chinese. Your friendship convo should pass the Bechdel test. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely become more and more obvious recently, the types of conversations that I have when I'm with different people. Like some friends, when we're yapping, it's like we're just, I don't even know, bouncing from topic to topic. And it's an exciting conversation. And then other friends, it can feel like kind of draining, you know, and just depressing, not inspiring. Or you're just like kind of gossiping and shit talking, you know, like I love a tea spill, but it's like, are you gossiping because to analyze, you know, and like learn more about the human condition, explore the nuances of the human condition, or are you just gossiping to talk shit, you know? And before, the difference wasn't that clear to me, but I think recently, as I've been focusing more on like nurturing the relationships where I feel like more inspired by our conversation, or at least not like weighed down, the contrast is so obvious when I'm in a situation and it's like all we have to talk about is other people. Like we can't get into the next stage of analysis on like what it means when someone's, I don't know, what it says about someone, or you, or even like what it says about yourself being in a certain situation, or what you're learning from it. It's just talking shit to talk shit. This person did this, that person did that, blah 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 blah, and then like judging. Not cute. Okay, because I love to spill the tea, love a gossip session, but like there's levels to gossiping, you know, and need high level gossip. Can you define the word foxy in your words? I've never used the word foxy before. I don't really have a definition for it. We've been friends for a long time, so I feel disappointed as though she'd evolve as time went on. Yeah, that's really tough. Been in that situation before. Yes, I've grown apart from people because of this. It's also like what happens when there's no tea. Yeah. Some gossip is harmless, others has a real world consequence. Yeah. It's hard making friends that match the level of gossiping to dissect human condition, not shit talk. Yeah. Well, that's why it's so valuable to find friends like that, because it's not easy. And I think it was really funny. Like one of my guy friends, when I was talking to him a few years ago, I asked him why he decided to like open his own business because he was still quite young at the time and he decided to do that. And he was like, because I wanted to have the right to talk shit. Everybody is talking shit all the time, but no one's doing anything. They haven't taken the risk. So they just sound like a loser. And I'm a hater. So I need to, if I can take the risk, if I'm taking the risk, then I am in a position to talk shit about other people. And I was like, oh, that's so true. And that's also become really clear to me now, too. There's a difference between critique that comes from a place of understanding, a place of knowledge, and having been through something yourself, and what you can learn from critique. And then there's just shit talking and judgment that often comes from a place of insecurity and kind of like a low level or high level cowardice, or jealousy and envy of others. Like now, sometimes certain people, when they talk shit about other people, it's just so obvious that they're jealous. It's just like, okay, but they're objectively more successful than you. And for you to like try to tear this person down by saying that, oh, this thing that they do is corny, that thing they do is corny, you just sound like a sore loser. Because like, it doesn't matter if I don't like someone's output, I'm always going to respect the hustle, because I've had to hustle and it's not easy. And the shit that you deal with when you're trying to do anything for yourself, okay, not on behalf of another person, not for your boss as an employee, that shit's hard. So I'm never going to knock someone's hustle, even if I'm not a fan of the thing that they do. That's fine. But some people have not yet clocked that part yet. And it's just like tearing other people down to make themselves feel better. But it's like you're not in a position of authority to be talking like this, you know? And I didn't really see it that clearly before because I always want to be able to learn from other people. Even if I don't like what they do, if they're successful at it, there's something that I can learn from them. And then also, just as my own experience developed, I was like, damn, it's kind of hard. So, yeah, other people if you haven't been in their shoes before, or if you're not coming from a place of critique and analysis, and it's just judgment and projection, boring, 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 boring. My aunt, she's gossip central for the family. Love her for it, but I got to watch what I say around her. Right. My aunt is all judgment, no constructive thoughts behind any situation. Exactly. Yeah, that kind of energy is just draining. So true. You can tell if they're jealous right away. Yeah. And like you can tell that they're jealous, but they can't tell that they're jealous and they're not going to admit it either. So you can't even have a conversation about that, because it would be more interesting to be like, oh my God, this person, blah, blah, blah. I'm so jealous. I want to be able to do what they do. And then you can have a conversation about that, like, well, because they've done this, you can learn from this, blah, blah, blah. This is really interesting. This would apply to you. This wouldn't apply to you. That's like an interesting and productive conversation. But when people are just like, oh my God, that person's so whack. They did this and that. Boring. Boring. Boring, 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 boring. Okay, now I really need to go soon. My friend just asked, do you reckon the new Pope is related to one of the girls we went to high school with? That's so funny. They have the same last name. Wear an evil eye amulet, right? I need someone to give me an evil eye charm. What if there were a girl's girl at the start? Things change, honey. Things can change. A lot of people will put a mask on in order to be approved, socially approved. They shapeshift to present a certain way, to connect with people in certain spaces. And then, yeah, they're not necessarily doing the work to maintain that. The mask drops and you're disappointed, you know. I've just always been very upfront about who I am and what I'm about. So haven't been in that position myself, but have been on the receiving end of other people being a fake girl's girl. This just happened to me yesterday with an aunt. I feel like some women as they age grow bitter because of their own situation. 100%. Oh my God. People that aren't even old are like that. In your 20s, acting like an old lady. Her life isn't going too slow either. She's got something to be bitter about. Yeah. You just have to be honest with yourself, you know. Shit's fucked up. I hate this. What can I do about it? It's literally that simple, but easier said than done, as always. Maybe I have like a red string that I can tie around my wrist. I do have a bracelet. I had like a red string with like a moonstone on it, but I bought it when I was with an ex-friend, so I think it's cursed. Just got to get rid of your own complaining. Yeah, like just being self-aware about where you're at mentally and emotionally and being okay with it. It's okay if it's not what you want to be, if it's not positive, if it's not desirable. But when you're honest with yourself about how you feel and you're just like, yeah, not so great right now, but I'm figuring it out. That's better than like pretending that it's okay or that it's someone else's fault that you feel bad. The girl boss Ed Sheeran. Yay! Okay, I need to find a red string. It's so trippy that like my YouTube video is flipped and my TikTok is not. Okay, also I just found my friend's conversation cards, reflex. I should play this next time on live. What's the question? Are you more likely to judge someone by their words or actions? In relationship, which is more important to you, shared morals or shared motivations? Judging people by actions, period. Judging by people's actions or inactions, you know, that's another thing. A lot of yapping and not a lot of doing. Motivations come from morals. Yes, that's true. That is very true. Should it be on my left hand or my right hand? Should I Google this? Let me check. Which wrist for red string bracelet protection? Whichever is your dominant hand. Okay, my left wrist. Should I just have it like this, or should I? What the hell? A David Yurman nylon bracelet is $550. You are actually taking the piss. Okay, left. I do have beads somewhere. Isn't a red string something to do with a soulmate? I could be wrong. No, you can also use it as like a to ward off evil eye. Maybe I can use this rose quartz. How should we do this? I'm thinking I want to also be able to remove it. Like sometimes you don't want it to get wet. Oh, I need to do my accounting today too. Don't forget. How would you deal with a very close friend who spends a lot of time with people who aren't the best influence and quite selfish? Arts and crafts with yes, oh my god. My friend has a really great sewing channel. Her name's Victoria Jin. Everyone go subscribe to her YouTube. She's iconic. Yeah, I think maybe coming to terms with the fact that you're not going to be that close if they're going to continue hanging out with those kinds of people. That's something that I've had to deal with recently. Like a friend that's caught between kind of like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, at some point you got to give up trying to control. You kind of just have to take a step back, I think. Not easy, but necessary. They got to learn the hard way. And the bad juju that they're absorbing will affect you eventually too. You want to believe that it won't because you're aware and you know better, but eventually their problems will become your problems if you're not careful. Have you tried talking to them about it? I don't know if talking helps. If people aren't coming to you honest and open about something and genuinely looking for feedback, which they rarely do, okay? in my experience, they're rarely coming to you, you know, honest and open, ready for a conversation. People most of the time come to you ready for you to just echo whatever they're saying, you know, um, looking to have their bias confirmed, right? That's what most people are doing, especially people that are hanging out with people that are not a good influence. So I fear that they just got to learn the hard way. You know, their journey is different to yours, and that's okay. But yeah, I feel like that's just how the cookie crumbles. I don't have a better answer. There's nothing you could do. Like, people, here's the thing. If you don't deal with your own shit, it will start affecting everything else in your life, you know? There's like a boundary between you and the things that are your problem and then the outer world. And as you get older, ideally you want to be able to distinguish between these things. Keeping your side of the street clean, you know? It's not that you have to eliminate challenges, you have to eliminate bad feelings or like negativity. It's just that you keep your side of the street clean. You know how to deal with things as they come. You respond accordingly. You know how to keep it moving. Okay. When you do that for yourself, it's very obvious who else is doing that or not. Okay. Because other people, like the friendships that I feel are the healthiest for me, we're all taking responsibility for our own problems. Okay. And when we come together, it's like you're just sharing an update, like, oh, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And when we do really need support, we're honest about it and we can be there for each other, right? But if there's someone who's not keeping their side of the street clean, whenever you come together, it's always about their problems, how to fix something for them. And like, they're like always in some kind of emergency or catastrophe, you know, because they're not taking responsibility for how they feel and how they respond to the challenges. Their side of the street is not being kept clean. They're not doing any of the cleaning. They're expecting someone else to come and clean for them. And that's really insidious, you know. It's not something that you can just sort of get over in a conversation or even realize in just a conversation with someone. It's something that you have to realize on your own. So when you see someone who's not keeping their side of the street clean, they're best kept as an acquaintance and not as a inner circle bestie, you know. And I wasn't so good at discerning that before because I hadn't fully taken ownership of my side of the street yet. And then when I started to do that, I was like, oh, yeah, I know what it takes to do the work and to be consistent in it. And I know that nobody else could have done that for me. You know, I had to be the one to face my insecurities, face my trauma, take responsibility for it. Even if, you know, I had no say in what was happening, I have a say in how I deal with it, how I process it, how I let it affect me. Nobody else was able to do that for me, and you're not able to do that for other people either. And that's just kind of how it goes. There are people that realize that and people that don't. And to other people who haven't done it, it can look easy, or it can seem like everybody else has it so much easier than you. But anyone that's actually done it knows that it's not fucking easy. It's hard. And to be around people that like minimize the effort that it takes to be who you are when you've put in a lot of fucking effort, it's a disservice to yourself, you know, because game recognize game. You're right. The only person who can control the situation is themselves. Yeah. Or at least control how they respond, right? Your MT religion. What? Will you go live in Japan? No pressure. Just want to know. I would be open to living in Japan at a later stage, but right now I enjoy focusing on China. I did have this period where I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I should try to work more there or be there more, but I actually really enjoy being in China, and there's so much of China that I want to see. So, I enjoy just being able to go visit and then come back. I like visiting and coming back. You hear almost every time you're my religion. I mean, live is in TikTok, but love your answer. Yeah, maybe I'll go live. It's going to be chaotic. I was thinking about living in Japan for a minute there. Okay, I need to figure out how to make a knot. Bracelet addiction.
In this video, we're making a simple sliding knot bracelet with one sliding knot. We start with 55 centimeters.
Let's build an ambush ride. God has some guidance. No need, babes.
Now,
but I appreciate the sentiment.
The ends upwards. We lay the left side end on top of the right side end.
Okay.
Now, readjusting my left hand to hold it in between my index finger and thumb. Now with this top cord, we take it down the back and around our finger for our first loop here. Working towards the left, we take it down the back and around our finger for our second loop. Now gently holding those loops and removing them from our finger, we take the end of our cord and place it down both loops. Pulling it out the right hand side and gently pulling that knot down tight and tidy. So that will be your finished sliding knot. You can check it by sliding it along the other cord. Now you just need to size your bracelet, so you can place it on and figure out exactly what size you want this loop to be. Once you're happy with the size,
can you put two knots?
Stop a knot on each cord, pulling them down nice and even on both threads.
Okay. I can only enjoy for a little bit. Hey, what are we doing? I'm making a new red string bracelet to protect me from evil eye. How are we, Kaya? What are you doing today?
So that's your super simple sliding knot bracelet.
Can you do a double knot? Best sliding knot bracelets. Okay. Oh my God. There was fully a period during the pandemic where I started making flower bracelets and selling them on Depop. I was actually losing it. Could not tell you how to make a flower bead sequence if I tried. Wow. I completely forgot about that. My beading era. Bruh. I was going through it. Oh my God. That's so funny. I can't believe I forgot about that. Just remember, guys, if you're going through a hard time, if you persist through, one day you'll forget that it even happened, and you'll remember and look back and laugh. Hand model. Love your nails. They look like the Hailey Bieber pearl chrome vibe. Well, oh my God, mine was knitting. I love knitting also. Long time no knitting though. Okay, so you hold it like this, and then you double loop, one loop. Bruh. Oh my God, I'm losing my dexterity. Maybe it's just because I'm hungover and sleep deprived. Okay. Okay. Pinch, 1 loop, 2 loops. Pull it off, pull it through. Mine was crocheting granny squares, anything to keep the sanity. Oh yeah, I got into that too. I tried to get into crocheting. But my problem is I just like want to learn how to do it. And then once I've learned how to do it, I kind of like lose interest. I can't commit to the full expression of the craft is my issue.